The Gilroy Garlic Festival takes place towards the end of July each year. As the weekend gets closer, the smell of garlic permeates the air from Gilroy to Cupertino. The Garlic Festival is special because the local community gets together to volunteer their time to raise money for local non-profits. Visitors come from miles around to sample garlic dishes, enjoy the music, and watch cooking displays. My guests know the cook-off stage very well. They have donated many hours cooking many meals and bringing laughter and fun as they cooked. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. For those of you who have been to the Gilroy Garlic Festival, you may well have seen my guests perform on the cook-off stage. I say perform because they don't just cook. They add just the right amount of humor to spice up the mix. They call themselves SakaBozzo, and they think they are twins. You may not see a resemblance, but there is definitely a unique tie between these two guys and their garlic. I'm Val Jeffrey for the better part, and I will let them introduce themselves in their own unique way.
Thank you, Val. So I'm Sam Bozzo, past president of the Gilroy Garlic Festival number 12, and this is
Gene Sakahara, past president of Gilroy Garlic Festival number 13.
And together we are known as SakaBozzo, twins separated at birth.
People can't tell us apart.
No, he's the Italian, and I'm the Japanese guy.
I see the tie, but what's the story on that?
Well, when he was president, we would be doing our thing, because I was his vice president. And we would see each other during the 3, 4, 5 days of the Garlic Festival. And he'd see me across the festival ground, "Hey, Saka! Hey, Bozzo!" And we'd chest bump each other.
Yeah. We won't do that for you today, though.
Did you ever consider calling yourself something else?
Never.
No. It was SakaBozzo from the beginning.
Never regretted it?
No,
not at all. Not at all.
It's part of who we are. Everybody knows this is SakaBozzo, and I think it was just one of those serendipitous things that just kind of happened, and that's been our story, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Well, you're very funny guys, but who came up with twins?
Oh, I think it was you.
I guess. I saw the movie Twins with our former governor, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and the little guy.
Donnie DeVito. Isn't his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, the little guy,
And so I think it's probably just a spin-off of that.
Yeah.
And because we don't at all look at all alike, do we?
Well, I tell everyone he's the Italian, and I'm the Japanese guy.
Yeah. So it works, It really gives people a giggle about the whole thing because it's obvious, so obvious. But everybody enjoys that part of our banter back and forth.
We've done that introduction so many times to so many different groups, and it seems like they really like it. So we just decided to keep it.
We got the first laugh. So once you get the first laugh, then we crave for more.
Yeah.
Yes, I can see the craving.
Yeah.
Let's explore your personalities. What do you bring to the duo? Who's the straight man? Who's the funny man? And how's it work?
Oh, I think we're both funny. And I get a big. I watch some of our past shows on TV, and I laugh at some of the things that he says. He's very spontaneous when it comes to that. But I think going back to the Rice Festival many years ago, what he brings to it is what I forgot to bring at the Rice Festival, and that was the stove that we were supposed to cook on. So he said from then on that he would be the logistics
I
person.
take care of logistics.
Yeah.
You're on a list. You remembered the garlic today. Thank you.
Yes.
He
yes.
called me 3 times on that to remind me to bring the garlic braids.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm very linear sequential.
Yeah.
He's very abstract random. So I work with an outline, a checklist, and Sam will go to the store 5 times. So,
Yes.
but that's what that's the unique thing about the both of us. We use our skills and talent to bring such a duo. And there is no funny or straight man. We just go up there and banter. Our second year on stage, we tried a little bit of a script with some jokes laid in there. We bombed.
It didn't work.
It was
Yes.
terrible. We saw the
Yeah.
audience and they looked bored.
Yeah.
We were bored. So we critique ourselves after each show. And so we said, let's just be natural. Go up there, and if we make a quip or two, that's fine. And people reinforce that by saying, "Oh, we just love your show. The way you two just banter back and forth."
Yeah.
And at times, we don't even know if there's an audience listening, but we're laughing at our own jokes. So we're having a good time.
We know where we're going. We know what we need to finish, but in between, it's just it's spontaneous.
Yes.
And never know when there might be something that happens from the audience that brings us to something that's humorous as a result of that.
Well, we were in a cooking contest with a executive chef,
He's 10 years old.
culinary trained, he said, in Rome, cooked in London, New York, Paris. And so I just said, there you go, folks, he can't keep a job.
Yeah.
So then the chef brings up his little baby and was trying to use the baby appeal. So Sam calls this, he must have been 11, 12-year-old.
Yeah.
And Sam
he
goes,
wasn't small either.
He goes, look at our baby. If Luca has a baby, we have a... And Sam puts him over his shoulder. I said, oh my, I hope Sam's back doesn't go out right then and there. But the audience was just rolling in their seats. So
They did.
So it's just one little spark, and that sets you off. You get a brainwave, and it's all natural. It's great.
Yes,
How did you two meet?
That's an interesting question.
Well, kind of almost at church.
Yeah.
We went to the same church together, so I know that was our... But also, I knew that he was in education, but I wasn't. I was teaching at San Jose State, so... But we knew each other because of church, and then we met at the video store. That's the days when they had video stores.
It was serendipitous again.
Yeah.
When he moved to Southern California for his new job, and I was saddened by that because Sam is a real community man who gives a lot. And I said that we're going to be losing a big part of Gilroy. But I didn't worry so much because I knew in my heart he was going to be back. And so one night, I remember it was a summer night, and he was in the video store, and I'm there. Hey, Sam, you're back. And, the rest is history, quite frankly.
Well, it's serendipitous as well, because I meet him in the supermarket. It's like, hey, we should do a show, right?
Food or movies.
Yeah.
Good combination.
Those are good combinations, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, the Gilroy Garlic Festival started in 1979, was it?
Yes.
And you weren't in it to begin with. How did you get involved? You were?
I was, but I was somewhat reluctant. I didn't think that was such a good idea. The president of Gavilan College, Rudy Malone, was the person who came up with the idea of the festival, and I had a restaurant at the time in Gilroy. He came to see me one night, and he said, I've got this idea about a garlic festival, and I said, that's the dumbest idea I have ever heard of in my life.
Yes.
But I wanted to be supportive, so the first festival, because of the restaurant, we had garlic minestrone soup.
Mm-hmm. The Garlic Festival is at the end of July, the summer. Mm-hmm. So how many bowls of soup did you sell?
Well, that weekend it was about 100 degrees, and we sold about 8 bowls of soup that weekend. So we had a lot of specials at the restaurant.
Blue light special at the restaurant.
We had tubs and tubs of minestrone soup. That was the first year. The second year, we had garlic steak on a stick. And the staff at the restaurant wanted to take me out and on the road and lynch me because it's very labor intensive to take those little sticks. So the third year I got asked to be a part of the festival.
Well, that was good.
And that was, yes, it was, very much so. And then you came along.
Well, I actually started volunteering because of our church. My children and I were picking up the rubbish, and then we get hours for that. And then that's actually how I started, but then I really got involved when I was on the board of South County Big Brother, Big Sister, and we started doing some food booths and things like that.
And Val, do you know how he became vice president of the Garlic Festival?
You dropped him in it, I expect.
We did. We actually we had a meeting, and I called for nominations as the president for the vice president, because that means the next year the person would be the president. Right. And there wasn't a sound in the room, so I said, okay, let's have a timeout. And so people took a break.
I went to the restroom.
And someone came up to me and said, Gene would be a very good candidate for vice president. So I said, good enough. So I reconvened the meeting, and I called for nominations, and I heard Gene Sakahara, and I called for the vote, and it was unanimous.
Thank goodness it wasn't a sale at an auction.
It was a railroad. And I really didn't want to do it because I just opened up a brand new year-round school, which meant I had children on campus every day of the year. I just couldn't see it happening. But, in retrospect now, it became a great thing because, number one, we became partners through the Garlic Festival, and then, of course, did our cooking demonstration. So another serendipitous occasion.
You bet.
Yeah.
When was your debut on the cook-off stage?
After my term. So I was
93?
93.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you cook?
Oh my gosh. I went back and looked, Val, and I think we probably used what was being used in Gourmet Alley, which is the focal point of the festival, and that was scampi and calamari. Yeah. Those were the first two items.
Not too creative then.
No.
Because we just wanted to be, we didn't want to stink. We found out it was chic to reek later.
That's right.
But we didn't want. So I'm sure we were probably a little bit more deliberate with our menu items, but we got more creative as the years went on.
Yeah. So we did that for 25 years. This last year was our 25th year.
Yes, and we have an award here to prove it.
Yes, that's right.
It's quite unusual because it has a
spoon on it. Yeah.
How has the cook-off stage changed over the years? Because in the beginning there was hardly anything, and of later years there's jumbotron screens and more equipment. How does that affect the cooking? Talk us through it.
Well, I remember when I was chair of the wine tent, and the wine tent was right next to the cook-off stage, and we were competing for volume. They were going louder, and our patrons in the wine tent couldn't hear ourselves. So there was some competition there. And then they moved it to its current location. And so I remember, excuse me, at first they had gas stoves, and then when we used the gas, you can't see the flame. So oftentimes we would grab a hot pan or couldn't see the flame, so we'd burn our fingers. Yeah. And then they went to electric. But the disadvantage there is you can't control the heat. So we're ready to go, and the heating plate is warming up. So then we have to stretch it out a little bit. So they came up with a better display in terms of a demonstration area.
Oh, for sure, definitely.
And it went from a small stage to now it holds 1,000.
1,000 people.
And as you say, 2 jumbotrons, So the first year it went up, I think Sam and I were more interested about how we looked on the jumbotron, but it was a lot of fun.
The first year that I did it on, it was just a small platform, and I don't think there was much other than that.
No, right.
And it was like maybe 6 inches off the ground, and there weren't any seats. There were just people that would walk by, and we did it that way. But it's so professional now. It's just amazing what they've done, and we've had some benefactors that have helped us with that, so that's been very helpful.
And it was all local chefs who were doing the demonstration. But as we became more famous, they started bringing in some of the celebrities that are now on that food cooking channel, you know.
Yes.
And so it became much more glamorous to be on stage because the audience was getting larger, and they were very knowledgeable. They knew their food because these were foodies up there. And I remember one year we got asked a question and I didn't know the answer.
I can't believe that. Who decides what to cook after your first disastrous soup event?
We kind of do. We actually make our decisions independent. I don't know that we. Well, I mean, we'll confer with each other in terms of what we do. But for instance, my wife and I were in Italy one year, and so we experienced some Italian street food. So I developed that into two recipes, one from Sicily and one from outside of Bologna. And so that's how that recipe came about. Many times we're motivated by something like, for instance, you do that one with pappardelle, and it comes from
Mary Louise Esposito.
Yes, a good cook. Yeah.
But her recipe had rabbit, and I don't care much for rabbit, so I changed it with chicken thighs.
Yeah.
It was delicious. But I found another recipe when we were on that cruise, the penne with the wild mushrooms. That was on a cruise ship, and I said, hey, that'd be great to demonstrate.
Yeah.
So we often will experiment on our own, and it has to pass the judgment.
The family.
Yes.
Family judgment.
We fix it, so it doesn't just go on stage or in our cookbook. It has to be juried, Val.
Yeah.
Because we fix it, and if the family says, Dad, don't ever fix that again.
It's a no.
It gets tossed. But, this was pretty good. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
do you have favorites that you cook over and over?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. My sister Carmela's meatballs with Southern Italian spare rib sauce with a rigatoni pasta.
Yeah, my family loves that too.
And yours is?
Mendocino crab cake. Yeah. It was an award winner up at the Crab Festival, but I changed it. It didn't have any garlic in it.
You added items to it.
I added items.
Which is okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's... What good is a recipe if it stays in the secret vault and nobody ever gets to try it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You
need to share it. And so when I hear people say, oh, no, it's the family recipe. Yeah. Well, then when you're gone, the recipe's gone. Yeah. Let everybody enjoy it, and that's part of it. So,
well, you know, Julia Childs was a great person to set that tone in terms of, if you make a mistake, you make a mistake.
He does a great Julia Childs impression.
Do it, Sam, do it.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't like butter, then try cream.
Good.
Yes.
She's great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, you've led us beautifully into your cookbook. Any Bozzo can cook, and that's true. And it's a great name for a cookbook.
Well, you know, my wife still has some hard feelings about why Sam got top billing in the title. I said, Kathy, you know, she's very supportive, but I said, any Sakahara can cook.
Doesn't do it.
Doesn't quite have the ring to it like any Bozzo. It's a play on words, of course.
Right. And when you think about it, you're SakaBozzo, right?
Exactly.
Bozzo Saka wouldn't sound the same either.
That's
so
right.
You're even now, one each.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you.
I've got the lead. I've got the lead.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
he's got the lead.
Yeah, he's got the lead there.
That idea came, we were playing horseshoes in King City one Sunday with some of my colleagues from the County Office of Education. And it was a person that came up and says, why don't you call it Any Bozzo Can Cook? So I said, that is a great idea.
It is.
So that's, and then did I even give you a choice?
No, but for the next 10 years, he was in my ears. We got to write a cookbook. We got to write a cookbook. Yeah. We were busy enough, so that was not my priority.
Oh, tell Val how we came about getting us to write the cookbook.
Well, every year we would get interviewed by TV stations or radio, and Mike Clary, who was a very famous Bay Area MC,
Frank Dale,
was interviewing us. And so Sam says, we're working on a cookbook. And Mike goes, you've been telling us for about 7 years now. No, Sam goes, I guarantee it. So I get off stage, I pull him by the ear, I say, you just guaranteed it that it's going to be done for the next Garlic Festival? Okay, buddy. So I said, we're going to meet every week and we're going to put our recipes together. Yep. No more talking then.
That's the linear sequential setting in.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Very task-oriented, see, so.
And then I wanted to add the world in the book. Yes. I wanted to put everybody's name in the book that I have had some kind of affiliation or worked with. And that's when we had some disagreements on whether or not to do that.
Well, his wife and I sided together. Sam, we have to go, we have a deadline here. And you're still adding, we're in the final edits. No, I want to stick this one. I want to stick. We've said, enough. We're going to be sending it to the publisher and going to print.
Right. We did, and finished on time.
Well done.
Yes,
and within the cookbook, are they all Garlic Festival recipes?
Well, they've got to have garlic.
Yeah, large majority.
Yeah. Well, the desserts don't.
Yeah.
But they may have a little alcohol.
Yes, 118 recipes in the book.
Right.
And let's see, we published in 2006, and we're
in our sixth printing, and we're working on our second one.
I was just going to ask you that, because if you don't start now, you'll never get it finished.
We're on a timeline.
Right.
He's very good about that. I have to tell you that's what makes it happen. And even when we do any kind of a cooking show or cooking for whatever charity, it's Gene that puts the outline together, and that's what makes it happen.
Well, his skill is the networking. He makes people feel comfortable. Right. So, we're a good team. We're a good team.
Right. And he meets people in grocery shops. So
that's right.
Well,
that's right.
So what's special about cooking at the Gilroy Garlic Festival?
Oh.
Wow.
The ultimate is, as you said in the lead, that the community pays off. I mean, they get rewarded. The whole town, 4,000 volunteers come together, and they all volunteer, and their hours go to the organization that they're working for.
Yeah.
So whether it's schools, churches, nonprofit organizations, this is a fundraiser that goes back to the community, and our future generation of kids benefit from that. Yeah, that's the best pleasure.
And this is our 39th year coming up, and we have collected over $11 million that have gone back to the community, and that's a very gratifying effect. It's just really a good feeling that's happening.
Yeah.
And
don't get us wrong, we love the laughter and the applause.
You bet.
Too.
Right.
We do. I get upset when people walk out.
I said, Sam, okay, 2 people, maybe they were hungry. This is a food festival.
Yeah.
Maybe they had to go to meet somebody.
Yeah.
But 500 people stayed.
Yes.
Have either of you ever been lost for words?
Yes. This last year at the festival, we announced to the cook-off committee that last year would be our last year on the cook-off stage. Well, they made a media thing out of it, and they said that we were retiring from the festival, which is not entirely true, because we're not going to retire, but we wanted to give some room to other folks to take our spot. So we were honored with this award and Chef's Jacket. And we also asked if we could bring our grandchildren on the stage and have them cook with us. So that was a real thrill for us to do that. Yeah. And when they presented us with the plaque and also the Chef's Jacket, it was I got emotional. Mm. Yeah. It kind of wrapped up into, oh my gosh, I can't believe that this is happening. So that was my loss of words.
Yeah.
Well, the 25 years went by so fast, because we were just rookies.
Yes.
Filling in for Rudy Malone, it was his idea to come up with the Garlic Festival, and he became ill, so we filled in for him. And one of the chairs of the cook-off stage invited us on for the next year, and it has gone by so fast. Yeah. I tell you, it's been a blessing for both of us, especially working with Sam, because it's been a great partnership. I think we've learned so much from each other, you know, and like any kind of partnership, you get highs and lows, and we try to stay humble and stay to our theme, and I think we've accomplished that, and we've tried to be real ambassadors of the Garlic Festival, and you know, it's garlic is in our heart. The Garlic Festival is our heart.
Heart and blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, you bet.
We're proud of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell me about the SakaBozzo scholarships.
It was your idea. Tell it.
No, it was started with the Garlic Festival had asked us to create a new dish for Gourmet Alley. So we came up with the garlic ginger chicken stir fry.
Right.
But you need volunteers to cook it.
Yeah.
So a former parent of mine at the school said, "Hey, you guys know a lot of people. Why don't we just get a lot of people and they become the volunteers, and then we raise the initial $10,000 for the scholarship?" And we said, "That's a great idea." So it started with that, our dish on Gourmet Alley that we both created, and then over the years we've been able to. It goes into the Gilroy Foundation. And then anything that we do on top of that goes to kids who are going into education or culinary arts. So we've done this now for 8 years. And the gratifying part, we get to give the scholarship away in the springtime to these graduating seniors in Gilroy. And, you know, it's about the next generation and giving back. And so, yes.
Yeah. This show has been about you too. And you do a lot for the community. And I met you when I was volunteering for CMAP for the Garlic Festival as well. And I saw the Gilroy Life came out, and that's what gave me the inspiration to do this show. And Sam, there's something in it that I want to read. You told them, "My wife Judy reminds me it's not about you. It's about the 140 plus non-profits. That's very important to remember." So you've done a lot for your community. You truly are ambassadors for Gilroy and for the Garlic Festival. And thank you for being our guest today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
It has.
So, you know, we have an old saying. If SakaBozzo can cook,
Then any Bozzo can cook.
Have a great time.
Thank you very much, and thanks for coming to the Gilroy Garlic
as
Festival.
always. Thank you so much,
Thanks a
all
lot.
of you.
36 years.
We hope that you've enjoyed the program today. Our team, Cupertino TV Productions, welcomes new volunteers. It's a lot of fun and no experience is necessary. Are you interested in joining us? Check us out, www.thebetterpart.com. And don't forget, support the Gilroy Garlic Festival. For dates and information, check out www.gilroygarlicfestival.com. Thank you for watching. Join us again.
SakaBozzo, SakaBozzo, know the book. They can cook when they're in the kitchen. Their food is really rich and by their book they can cook.